indicate when each log will fire. Green, yellow, and red. Each detonation will be accompanied by a sudden burst of acceleration. Hopefully we'll hit 88 miles per hour before the needle gets much past 2,000.
Why? What happens after it hits 2,000?
The whole boiler explodes.
And the boiler is about to explode. Sooner or later. We all know that. So, we have just absolutely aced the last few weeks, and the plan is to keep acing it. Okay? So far, probably one of the, if not the best September we've ever had. We called early on that, hey, the first trading day of September is probably going to be the low, because it was also the low in August. It was also the low in July. And it was also the low in June. So far, that's playing out. Now, do I think this will just grind up? No, I don't. But I did say all-time high in September, back in January. And here we are. We got one on Wednesday, we got one on Thursday, and we got one on Friday. Now, you don't have to be a genius to figure out that printing bars over the daily Bollinger Band, best case scenario, you're gonna grind up, right? But usually you will get moves down from there, and the bigger and faster they are, the more you can grind up. Okay? So you need, you're gonna need a pullback. So, because it's the shit show, but it's also technical. First of all, this yellow line is the previous FOMC announcement price. Why is that important? Because it's everything. I view it as a mini or counter JPM collar kind of thing. But I do want to point out that the daily 50 moving average has pulled up right in time for the next meeting right there. Why is the 50 so important? I'll tell it again. I've said it a gazillion times. We have not backtested it from above since February. We haven't touched it, literally. Remember, we had that whole tariff thing. We gapped over it. It has not been retested. I have been saying for months now that that is going to get tested before the exit liquidity rally happens end of year. And that is what I'm looking at. When will it come? Probably, if I'd have to guess, second week of October. So, can we go higher? Yes. By how much? I would cap this market. We have one more phantom up there. I'm sure most of you are aware of it. But it is SPY 670 and QQQ 598. Any chance to get there this week? Yes. On a spike on FOMC. Okay? That is your only chance to get there this week. Would be on Wednesday if you get a 0.50 cut and Powell lets you know that we will be cutting every goddamn fucking meeting we have this year. These dates. Then the market will say, woohoo! And start pricing those cuts in. but I would imagine they're a little bit more coy than that. As far as seasonality, Nasdaq says you either have a high or will get a high. I would not be surprised if you fade Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday is a bunch of theatrics and bogus, because on Friday you have OPEX, and then of course the more important date is September 30th with quarterly expiration, because you get your new collar. As of right now, you have spent most of September above the collar, where last few weeks here, there's the collar, right? 64.80. Do I think it will get retested? Yes. When this drops, it will either hold the daily 21 or most likely gonna be the 50, just because we have not touched it in so freaking long. And just to put this into perspective, that is the weekly, right? Could we get a spike to 6,700? Well, yes, we could. We hit 6,600. I would absolutely cap this week here. Anything over here, you have to be smart and buy some puts with some time. Okay, you saw on Friday, it's just pre-programmed orders basically. No reason to sell right there, no news, but it did. Why? Because of the level. 6,600, doot, no. Then we had some fun with that. But that is a wall into the close. So, Monday, I did YOLO some premiums to the upside in case there's some type of news. If we gap up, I would immediately sell. This pattern that is usually bullish was not in the end. Close right there. Should follow with a couple days of weakness. How weak remains to be seen. Obviously, the logical point is either a gap fill here with some slow bleed or a backtest of the trend line, nullifying this stow here on the hourly. So any gap up needs to be flipped to the downside, or we're just going to chop. So prepare for 3 days of chop and then an injection of volatility on FOMC. If you're gonna ask a question, how am I playing it on a Saturday? Don't ask that question. Has nothing to do what we are going to do on Wednesday. Our only job on Wednesday is to react to the market. We can pre-position on both sides, but again, it is not, and I repeat, it is not about this meeting. It's about what are they going to message? Meaning, are we going to start cutting? Because guess what? If that is the case, they're going to shake and bake some people here for a few weeks and then randomly start ripping, just like the Nasdaq seasonality says, just like the IWM and the SPX one. Okay? That's gonna happen. Straight up. Catalysts, well, look, worst case scenario, we're gonna do this shit. Crazy volatility. Because we've been running these regular seasonality patterns. I would not at all be surprised if they flip back to the sports calendar. You look, Stevie Wonder, again, if you believe that he's blind, can see that the world is changing rapidly. Your freedoms, or should I say the equation that your freedom hangs out in, is going to change. The financial system is going to change. Geographical maps are very much going to change. So, October is always has been the month for that shit. That's when they reposition. Always October. And they have plenty of gains since the April low. Plenty. So they will treat next few weeks with a lot of respect. You have to respect the next few weeks. Not only do you have FOMC, you also have the expiration this week. And as you have noticed every day, we have been VIX trading on SPY. VIX can go higher, it will over the next few weeks. Do I think it's gonna go over here? No. Do I think they're going to absolutely squash it? Yes. No doubt in my mind, okay? There's no reason why this fucker can't go down to 10. Tell me a reason why it couldn't. Okay? Do I think it could absolutely on something drop down to its trend line? Yes. Just like, wouldn't you fucking know it, the 10-year yield coming down to this trend line. Okay? The main thing you need to watch once the Fed message, and we'll do it live, once they message, is how does this thing react? Okay? How does this thing react? How does this thing react? Now, as far as this week, okay, and what plays specifically I'm looking at. Look, let me just cement it in your brain one time here. This is a big fucking deal. You get the collar. We're gonna get the playbook for the next 3 months. What is the goal? The goal is to make a bunch of money. Wait as long as we can to catch this low here. Have a in the money position, now that we made plenty of money the last few weeks. Have a in the money position far out and scalp it all the way up. That's gonna be the big game plan going forward for the last quarter of this absolutely record-breaking insane year on all fronts. What is one of my favorite, I didn't swing this even though I was going to, because I'm thinking this is the pattern here. Tech has been weak comparatively, in my opinion. I'm gonna catch this maybe even back on Monday. I would not, a lot of people are banking on this falling out of the sky. I'm not so sure. Why is that? People ask me about the market all the time. Yo, rotation. Rotation. What do I mean by rotation? I mean this. You got SPX falling out of the sky, not even holding it back end of day Friday. Meanwhile, you do have the QQQ pulling back, but not nearly as much. Look here. Look at this relative strength. It closes here. Closes at 0.44. Meanwhile, SPY literally puts in low a day almost there. So it's all about the rotation. Now heading into this week, not a name that I ever trade, but I know that if the rates come down, solar's gonna explode. We also saw mispriced premiums fairly high up. So we took the 40s, this can rip all the way to 47. So in EMPH starters, right? Another one, and I feel pretty good about this one because I think we finally cracked the secret to UPST. It will let us know it will let us know during the current week what it does next week on premiums. Okay? So if you see mispriced premiums on the week, it's showing next week's. Okay? Pretty clear. One of our favorite setups here is fill the half moon. Okay? if it can feel the half moon, it's got plenty of grind power on the stove. Okay? Baba. I am very, very proud of how we traded Baba. It wasn't even on Twitter. No one caught it. We caught this whole move up. I didn't catch this move. We caught this whole move up. And I think that people didn't catch it because they don't know how to read the shit show. Because they still to this day, even though they know the news is absolute bullshit, they have a fear of letting go of some type of safety belief. But hey, let me tell you, no one's coming to save you. That is why we have this group of amazing individuals. So, what is this? This is gap fill all the way from back in the day. I think, reading through the lines, once China has done this gap fill here, you will get some tension between the current American administration and China. Because guess what? I don't even need to know, but I'll tell you the play, right? It'll go gap fill in anticipation of Besant meeting with the Chinese this week. Guess what? They will probably not reach a conclusive deal. That's a good thing, because then you got this awesome cup. You'll probably get a pullback, and then just when they need to, in October or November, they will find some type of deal and this will rip. Okay? With the caveat of, if they reach a deal, full send and forget any October low, we're gonna go. Now, Tesla, what a freaking move. Okay? Buy any dips. If rates come down, this also goes higher. Where to? Well, that was quite the move. It is overextended. It's gonna need some pullback, but if it chooses to go here, I'm showcasing you the MACD. This thing can go. So maybe let's jump on the weekly here real quick. As you can see, it probably needs to chill a little bit, but this is gonna probably go all the way. That's no surprise to anyone. We've been watching Microsoft. It finally busted a move on that OpenAI news. This is going to be the grind up vehicle at some point into end of year. And do know that from here until these tech earnings, shit can be volatile. Tech and these earnings will be the final leg higher, in my opinion. Nothing has changed with Meta. They've just said that they're building these data centers. It's gonna be huge, right? Because again, they need clearly now to monitor everybody's thoughts and opinions. And somebody's got to keep all those soon to be required online IDs in check. Same thing goes for Nvidia, Avgo, this and that. Okay, HIMS had a big ripper. But anyways, UPST, EMPH are the ones that are most rate sensitive. The only reason Netflix sold here, wasn't in it for the sell, is that Warner Bros. Deal. I like something that holds at the bottom of the Bollinger Band, trying to catch that crazy Monday move on it, right? Also swung some Coinbase. Why? Because this cup and handle reminded me of Netflix's cup and handle, where it never went, it waited until the next week. It's the exact same pattern here. I'm thinking crypto is absolutely gonna rip, you know what, if FOMC is good. Obviously, and again, you already saw it, but obviously if FOMC is shit, that's gonna be your low. Because they're trying to stack the deck. Cook is still in there, but they're putting in Miran. And then this guy's time is running out. So, then you have the Middle East. Now, look, with everything that happened last week, you guys probably missed that the Congress voted with one vote to keep those files sealed. And the tweet from a prime minister of a foreign country before his condolence message was that 1 million people better move. We had the Doha incident. That shit's gonna blow over. Most likely in October. And obviously this date here is going to probably be used for something. This date right here. So again, collar, new FOMC, big expiration, quarterly OPEX, all coming up. Now I do want to show you guys this other thing here. So these are the dates of the past FOMCs this year. We had a big drop after last one. It was swift. We had another drop after the one before that, and then up. We had this held, but that was a crazy time. This one also had a drop before a pop. This one held but drop and then pop. So they look like they give an initial move and then come down, and I wouldn't expect anything else. However, this FOMC is probably gonna be watched by more people than earlier this year. Okay, so again, how are we gonna play it? We're gonna cover both sides. This is just something I sketched out. Is there a chance to go to 670 this week? Yes. If it does, don't be buying any calls for a few weeks. Let all the premiums settle down. If we drop, we know that we're gonna start longing close to the 50. Now, the most important thing on FOMC is not what they say or what they do or this and that. Remember, last FOMC right here, and then we sold, and I was like, guys, we got to start longing this shit now, and we did, right? Why did I say that? I'm gonna teach you something that is more valuable than anything you learned in school. Okay, I'm not even gonna show it to you on the last FOMC price. What you want to be looking at, and obviously I'll do it live, is when this is the 30-second chart. When the announcement happens, is it a 30? What is the initial move? You can do this on a 10-second chart too. That's the one you want to catch, because that will show you the coming direction. So you might fuck around a few days and fake you out, but it will show you the direction. So let's say the first candle is down and then it pops. We know that we're gonna be playing a fade into the next FOMC overall. Let's say the announcement comes, it's a pop and it holds, great. Or pop and fades. Then we can start buying the dip. It's all about the initial reaction, okay? Even if for a few days they're bagging the real move, okay? So that's what we're gonna be looking at. Now, Friday, we did have a MOC buy. That's why in the end, I grabbed some YOLOs because the trend was good. What else was good? Well, the VIX 1D, I complained all morning. Man, we need to get up here. And the VIX 1D has been really good to us. You'll kind of showcase when you're gonna get a gap up next next day, and you can, and that coupled with the MOC and the premiums, I mean, it worked pretty much every day. So we'll see. Another one I'll be looking at for FOMC is KRE. Here's the daily. If banks can bleed into this thing, KRE is going to be a vehicle on Wednesday to possible upside. If the market sells, and I'm going to repeat myself, my favorite is this guy, Banks. This dude has been here all summer. But he's also telling you you're not gonna get a huge market crash here. You might get a pullback and then we're gonna rally harder. This guy is loading a move and has been for 2 months now. That's what I'm talking. I'm talking about tech. I'm talking about, hey, yo, once they let it loose, it's gonna be crazy. I don't know if we get a fake breakdown. That would be easier for us because we could be like, okay, fucking buy a lot if we could get this down here. But this looks like they're consolidating, literally, on the NAMO, which is rare, but still. And after this week's trial by fire, I would be surprised if OPEX sells a few days. We're gonna long here for a week and sell here. Okay, and what would because that's usually how it, you know, rolls. And this over here kind of suggests the same, that you can buy there, pop, boom, 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 yeah, this guy over here. So let's before, you know, we're done here, let's just say that 6600 is a wall, which it is. Obviously this is the closing GEX. Can we go higher? Yes, we can. DEX looks good, everything looks good. I wanted to just show you guys something absolutely crazy. But first, before we get absolutely crazy, let me just run through. Here's Monday. As you can see, Monday could tap that high again for a double top, and then 655 should hold, and then 650. Pretty easy numbers. You can catch the move in between these $5 increments. Pretty neat like that. Here's Tuesday, same thing. Okay, Tuesday is, we're not going to be putting in highs. Okay, everybody's going to be waiting. Stay the fuck out of the chop. Here is Wednesday. Okay, if we go over 660, it's holding, it's a ripper. If we lose it, you can have a $10 sell and it won't even feel like anything at this point in the market. Thursday. Now this is starting to look interesting. Thursday. Why is all this green gamma here? But goes up to 666. But it's green. It's not red. This looks like a fucking wall. So maybe the reaction is what it is, right? Here is OPEX. Biggest gamma is 655. With a risk that you can sell all the way down to 640 for some reason. At least they're positioned for it. Okay, that's not what I wanted to show. Then I want to show you October's GEX. 625, this is the end of October. With a cap at 655. So it looks like there's gonna be a pullback, okay? Jump to last of November. Very interesting that November has this here. This is levels we had anticipated would go to, but we never went there. So we're either gonna be here or here end of November. Okay, it gets better. This is the last available gamma chart for the year. 700. Okay? Follow me here. This is last of January. Pretty sure we get to 700 on SPY. December or January. This is where it gets spicy. This is February. Fine, whatever. Look at this. Now this is around the time I'm thinking we're gonna have a crash. Look what it's showing for end of February. That GEX chart is wacky. Then you go to March. Here, okay? All right. So think about it. Think about from 700 down to here. That's a crash. Okay? Relatively speaking. Still way above Liberation Day and all that stuff. Okay? This is June. The next spring there's going to be a decision. Are we going to do that or is it over? Now, you're going to have to pull a lot of rabbits out of your ass for it not to be over. Okay? And just looking into next summer and the GEX readings, they're telling us we're going to be trading old levels, right? But next fall, in about a year, something huge will happen. You can literally see it in the gamma. Look at this. Where you turn a crazy resistant high target into support. Something major, I don't know what the fuck it is gonna happen in a year from now. So I just wanted to point that out to you guys. How do you get to those levels? Again, people think I sound a little wacky when I say it. They're going to absolutely annihilate the dollar. It's coming. Okay? So, position yourself for that. Best way to do that is to not buy, whatever, fluff coin. Nail your trading. Okay, look, easy if you respect it. Buy the fear if, let's say, the STO has bottomed out like we did on Friday. Ride it until the STO is maxed out and you pierce the Bollinger Band and you get your juice candle. It's letting you know. I'm letting you know. Okay? Now, final thoughts are, be ready for anything. If you at this point in the game fuck around and aren't disciplined enough to be 90% cash every night, that's on you. It should be like your number one rule. Number two rule is stay out of the fucking chop. Premiums juice here, and then you got your whole end of day where you're positioning for the next day. Obviously news can happen, but like on a regular Tuesday, don't bother. There's plenty of schmucks out there giving their money away in the chop. Okay? So that's how we're going to approach the last quarter. Prepare for very, very volatile coming weeks. And let's have some fun. Let's hope that, why even say let's hope that they don't, make the shit show even crazier. We all know they're gonna make it beyond anything we've seen yet, unfortunately. But that's how the way the world is right now. Monday, not a lot. We're gonna hear some news narratives. Nothing's happening. So trading open and close only. Tuesday, Canada retail sales. maybe some back to school bullshit pump. But you do have Miran on Monday, so that's a big deal, right? Wednesday, I will probably 90% certainty sleep in, wake up, and see what's up for this and trade it. Okay, then we'll see what the announcement price candle is. We'll position knowingly that on Thursday you get jobs. Who knows what the news narrative is going to be? You have a Bank of Japan rate decision. We don't know, even though they're forecasting nothing, they could message something crazy. Those rates have been too low for decades. That could absolutely be like sushi surprise. Sorry, wasabi in both eyes. Okay? But if that passes with flying colors, look, this is an OPEX, okay? It's still OPEX. It's a Friday. Chances are it's gonna suck. Fridays have been absolute dog shit. This Friday was an exception, except the close. And then we're pretty much gonna sit around and wait for that quarterly OPEX. So the next few weeks, we'll scalp, we'll trade the rotation wherever it takes us. But just caution, shit's about to get wild. I can absolutely see it. And I think our little system we got going on is working very, very well. But as you can see here, they're not selling this market yet. So, God bless, guys. Stay safe. And I'm very grateful that we have our train. It's awesome. It's awesome. And we're gonna have a fantastic week. It's gonna be a lot of waiting around though. And then it's time to act when the curtain is pulled. See you on Monday.